on recurrent instability. There is an important statement by John Charnley. Recurrent subluxation is the only dislocation that the surgeon will be hold responsible. And when it occurs, occasionally may be due to the patient's fault. But if there's a recurrent dislocation, it is the responsibility of the surgeon. It's 1 to 4%, and revision it is much more. It leaves the patient very apprehensive, tarnishes the surgeon's reputation, cause extra cost to the patient and to our society. Dislocation does not remain constant. This is something cumulative dislocation. Does not remain constant due to polywear, increased pseudocapsule laxity as the age advances, and deterioration of the muscle strength. Approximately 1% in 5 years and 7% after 25 years. So late dislocation, one important thing is, are more likely to be recurrent and they need revision. It is a multifactorial problem. It is a patient related, surgeon related, implant, surgical technique, alignment of the component is the most important, and soft tissue balancing. These two things are addressed by Vijay in his surgical demonstration. What about the patient factor? Who are the patients who are under risk factor? Dysplasia, fortunately in this country we don't have that major dysplasia, but neuromuscular disorder, weak abductor, dementia, alcohol, hip fracture, acute hip fracture, and we are now dealing with a lot of spinal fusion, spinal pelvic parameters. Females have high and the patients with the advanced age. What about the implant factor? There are various things which are already discussed, but the neck configuration is very important. Neck design, what type of this? More taper, and now international this is 12 to 14. And what about the offset? We should be able to correct the offset. Head size, today we are lucky that we are using more and more 32 and 36, and almost 22 and 28 has gone down. One important thing that the skirted head should not be used because it increases the taper distance and chance of impingement and dislocations are very high. Regarding a acetabular liner, there is a lot of controversy. Only I think we use this liner in a only revision situation and a very difficult situation. Otherwise, we are almost stopped using this liner. If you want to use only 10 degrees lip liner, not more than that. What about the offset? The offset determines that the wear, fatigue, limb, walking aid requires patience and dislocation. Fortunately, in this country, we are now lucky for last couple of years that we have various available offset. Anatomical landmass, TAL, is another important thing thanks to Beverland. And the shoulder trunk position, that and the new concept what Vijay brought it. If you use this implant company's devices, the chance of error are extremely high. So you have to be careful. I am the person who uses all the parameters. I don't go on a single. This is one important thing which I learned from London clinic. The TAL, that's your TAL. You take a straight osteotome or something. You mark the parallel, exactly parallel to this. So this is a parallel to the TAL, and your reamer remains exactly right angle to this. If you use this concept, probably if there's a TAL available, use this concept, that gives a beautiful natural anteversion of the acetabulum. And that you can see that. This one trick. Okay, socket is a mobile target in lateral position. So, and sometimes the TAL may not be reliable in dysplasia, old traumas, and when you see on X-ray with the retroversion sign, crossover sign. And it is a surgeon's responsibility to see that the position is proper. If you have a team, probably the team should know this. Regarding Levnik safe zone, I think we have, this paper was way back. Now, I think there is a lot of change which has taken place, but we still believe that the combined test of combined anteversion and safe zone. On the femur side, we use the tibia. Yesterday, Vijay had showed you the tibia. vertical tibia, and if you follow that, that should be okay as far as the femurs are concerned. Uncemented, difficult to control the version because it will take its own place. Normally, maybe 3 to 5 degrees you can just correct that, otherwise it's not possible. But cemented, yes, it is possible. And Wagner cone also, it is a little bit possible. This is one such patient. My colleague had operated bilateral osteotomy, and she, after about 10 to 15 years, she came. And this is one thing you should do a CT scan and superimpose. This girl had a slight degree of retroversion on one side and 0-degree version on this side. So I was fortunate to manage, because I am the surgeon who does the femur first and acetabulum. So I follow this door, do the femur first, followed by acetabulum, which allows to maintain the combined anteversion. Femoral anteversion is uncemented. I just told you it's difficult to control. Acetabulum anteversion can be titrated, and ratio between these two are yet to be identified. But yesterday, Vijay said 20 to 20, 30. I must discuss with him, because if you have a fair degree of anteversion in the femur, you can't put the acetabulum in retroversion. So I think that formula we should be able to find out. The bony impingement also is important. If there are, this is one such patient who had a severe coxa and after my trial reduction on abduction, this was dislocating, I detached the trochanter and brought it down, and that's the impingement will be all right. Regarding the offset measurement, I still continue to use my offset measure bar. After dislocation, I do the preoperative good planning also. So I use a vertical offset, horizontal offset inside, and use one of the technique. Vijay had told you stitch technique. You should follow most of the things. You should not. You should do everything possible and do not rely on just single parameter. That's my technique. Regarding the pelvic obliquity, yesterday Vijay was discussing. If patient has a sacroiliac is free, lumbosacral side is free, this is even after 25, 30 years. Look at this correction takes place. That's if you have a fixed like an ankylosing or a spinal fusion, this will not get corrected. So you can correct this pelvic obliquity very well with this. But the lumbar spine, lumbosacral spine should be free. Sacroiliac should be free. There's a lot of debate on posterior approach and all that, but today I think there is enough data in the literature that improved the result of the enhanced posterior, so just less than 1%. So I think we should not blame this. How do we assess the posterior capsule is healed? This is one more Ranawat test. Put the patient at flex the hip about 80 to 90 degrees, and internal rotate the hip for about 15 degrees. There should be end point. If there is an end point, that means posterior capsule is healed. This is one more important test and a very high specific and high sensitivity. I just told you controversial regarding the dislocation and regarding the approach. We don't have the quality of orthopedic literature recording limited. No prospective studies for sufficient power to actually, there's a lot of controversy regarding the dislocation. So roughly, just I'm not going to go in detail, but roughly management first should be a close reduction, and you do take the patient on image and see what direction, what are the things are. If there is a malalignment, there is no other surgery is going to work, it is the only revision. Modular exchange are also possible once in a while. Large head, dual mobility has come to rescue, but I think it has its own indication, which we yesterday discussed. Constrained liner is my last option when I do not have any abductor. It is a bald trochanter. That is the only indication in my book for this constrained liner. Soft tissue reinforcement, yes. There are a couple of surgeons in India who have started doing a little bit of posterior around this white side technique of abductor reconstruction. Greater trochanter advancement, very few. And lastly, everything has failed. Multiple surgeries, patient doesn't want any more surgery. I think last resort is resection orthoplasty. So take home message is clinical evaluation, add spinal examination to your system, total system. Second is preoperative planning, meticulous surgical technique, restore vertical and horizontal offset, combined anteversion and impingement test, posterior capsule, if you are a posterior surgeon, posterior capsule repair is must, and post-operative good rehabilitation. Thank you for attention.